What's up, mob? Hey, so we are in Foxboro, Massachusetts this weekend in an open air stadium. Is it gonna rain? I don't know. I'm gonna let you know the answer to that before this is over. I won't be doing a live show tonight because I'm going to the UFC 300 weigh-in and then UFC 300 tomorrow. Thank you, V-Chain. V-Chain is now partnering with the UFC. They have hooked me up. My buddy AJ, who is a crypto king, follow him on Instagram, has hooked me up with those guys, and we're gonna go watch some UFC 300. What a great card. My two favorite sports. And I have an MMA channel if you guys want to go check that out. I would appreciate it. We just hit 1,000 subscribers over there, and I'm putting up good content on that channel too. I'm going to talk a little bit about the betting odds. Betting is now something that's really a thing in Supercross, and I'll give you the inside scoop. A lot of times when these sports bettors get into a new sport, they don't quite understand it. They use some of their old principles, and you can catch some mismatches, and I got some for you. But remember, guys, subscribe to this channel. For some weird reason, people get unsubscribed without them doing it, so double check, make sure you're still subscribed. And if you're not, I appreciate it if you subscribe anyway.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So there's a lot of pressure on Jet Lawrence this weekend. He's coming in after a horrendous slam by Justin Barcia. That was one of the most violent takeouts that the sport has seen. I'm trying to think of a harder one, and I can't. The one against Mike Alessi, Brock Tickle was pretty bad. When James Stewart cut the corner and Dungey hit him, and that's kind of what this was. It was an accident. This was not a malicious takeout, but it was still nasty. Is his arm okay? Is he going to be able to, bounce back? And a lot of you guys are like, oh, I mentioned a possible concussion. A lot of people said, oh, he didn't hit his head. Just so you know, concussions don't come from the actual blow to the head. They can, but what it is that change of direction of your head. If the skull, like your brain is in fluid and it bounces back and forth. And when you have a change of direction as fast as Jet did, going, 30 miles one direction, 30 miles an hour one direction, and then slamming back the other way, that's a good possibility that his bell was rung. The way he sat on the ground sure looked to me like he had his bell rung. The odds makers clearly believe Jet's the guy who's going to win. They have him at a minus 110. Knocked my light off, sorry guys. Okay, so what minus 110 means for people who aren't familiar with betting, that means if you put $10 on Jet, you only win $9.09. It's almost even money, but since they believe it's Jet's race to win, they've got him at minus 110, and a lot of money comes in on Jet. So the more money that comes in on Jet, the less their odds. They try to equal it out and get money on both sides of the fence, and then they take what they call the VIG. Second winningest rider of all time, Eli Tomac, is coming into this round off a big win last week. Or 2 weeks ago. That was huge for Tomac. There was a talk, and I said I didn't think he'd get a win all year, and I thought he would retire. Guess what? He didn't listen, and that's what champions do. They don't listen to pundits like myself who say he's done and whatever. He still has that fire. Can he come out and do it again? I don't know. Jet is super talented. Like I've said before, if Jet rides perfectly, nobody beats him. The problem is there's a lot of question marks around Jet. And now Tomac has that confidence. He knows I can do this. And he's really good at these type of tracks. This Foxboro track is going to break down. And I had hinted about mud. According to WeatherBug, it is not going to rain. It will be kind of moist, but it's not going to rain. The track's still going to fall apart. But until we use smaller knobbies, every track is going to look like that towards the end. The odds makers have at a 3-1 underdog, meaning if you bet $10, you win $30. I kind of like that bet, but I don't know. I'm going to wait until after practice before I place a bet. The other two guys that are 3-1 underdogs are both Sexton and Webb. And now Sexton has a history of coming in hot off these breaks, and I think he really has something to prove. That might be a good bet. And Webb, how can you ever count out Webb when it comes down to the title? And Webb loves these mental games, and he's going to try and get in the head of Jet any way he can. He'll cross him, he'll bump him. If Jet wants to shake hands, Cooper won't shake hands. If Jet doesn't want to shake hands, Cooper will shake his hand. Like, those are types of things that Cooper Webb does, and it's awesome. It messes with people. It really does, and it's a lot of fun. I see a lot of that in the MMA guys. They're always trying to do the mental warfare. Guys, if you're working out and you're worried about your sweat rate, Coach Rob has his drink formulated specifically for your sweat rate. So head over to Complete Racing Solutions and get yourself an energy drink formulated for exactly how hard you work out and what you need. Epic Garage Designs is giving away a free garage makeover. Guys, these aren't cheap. These are really badass. They're going to make it look really good. They've partnered with A1 Garage Doors and also the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce that, but hey, I just did. So if you go over to A1 Garage Doors Instagram, I'll put it right here on the screen, and just follow the instructions. And if you're in the Las Vegas area, that is the key. You have to be in the Las Vegas area to win this garage build out. But definitely head over there, check it out, and get yourself a new garage. So in the 250 class, Hayden Deegan is under the gun. He has to win. Essentially, there's three rounds left, 2 East-West. We know how it goes. But if he does not win, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to be in it for this championship. He cannot lose any more points. He's down quite a ways. And guess what? The odds makers seem to think he will win. They have him at even money. $10 wins $10. I don't think that's a very good bet. I don't think he's an even money to win this thing. But the way betting works is the more money comes in on a guy, the lower the odds. Being that Deegan is so popular, that's probably why you're not getting a good bet if you put your money on Deegan. He's probably more like a 2-to-1 is what I would probably set him if I was just doing it based on not the money coming in, but how I actually see the race. McAdoo is a 2-to-1 underdog. That means you bet 10 to win 20. That's a good bet. I like that. He's got a very good chance. He's feeling it right now. He's riding really smart. The only reason I probably might not make that bet is he's riding smart. He understands if Deegan's going bonsai and he needs to just settle for second, he will. That's where he's at this year. He understands. It's like a totally new Cameron McAdoo, like his wife said. Be in his own shoes or be where he stands. Like, whatever he's doing, keep doing it, and he will be champion this year if he can continue what he's doing. So I love this about the sports gambling. Sometimes they make mistakes. When the odds initially were put up, and I posted I believe I posted it on my Instagram, I got Tom Vial at 4-to-1. That means $10 wins $40 to win. That's a mismatch. He is, and they've since corrected it. I'm sure a lot of you moto guys saw this, or whoever's betting, put a bunch of money on him at 4-to-1, which that's just a good bet. I mean, he's more like a 2-to-1, or now they have him at 2.5-to-1, which means, 10 wins 25. So that's more likely where he should be. But I got him at 4-to-1, guys, so I'm hoping the Frenchman can pull off the upset. And it's not really that big of an upset. They just mismatched the odds. Guys, if you need goggles, glasses, shirts, hit up Ride Strapped. RideStrapped.com. Strapped is the company. And I will be with Strapped at the Paula Raceway National. We're camping out. We're working on doing a cookout, but we're trying to figure out the logistics of that. But yeah, Chris is stoked. And come meet Chris from Strapped, myself, hang out, have a good time, have some beverages, have some food. Whether we do an official cookout or not, come over and see us at Paula. Precision Transport. If you're shipping anything using a truck, use Precision Transport. Family owned, reasonably priced, and they believe in customer service. And trucking companies, that's rare. So hit up PrecisionTransport.com at pretransport.com. So as I cover MMA and Supercross and Motocross, I've noticed a huge difference in the personalities.
Quarter mile at a time kind of guy. I do not look too far ahead. I honestly have no clue what the future holds. I don't usually plan on being alive the day after my fight, so hopefully I'm there on Sunday.
A lot of times you look at people and you think they're good people and you're not sure. I'll tell you what, after covering MMA, I will say this. We have some good people, some good kids, and some good families in our sport. Yes, we have the same type of promoters running it on the top. They're greedy. I would have to say the promoter for UFC, as much as people bitch about Dana White, he does more for the fighters than what Feld and MX Sports do for the riders. It's laughable how crappy they are to him, and even Dana White would be like, are you serious? But when you're talking about personality characteristics of Supercross riders versus MMA, man, the quality of people that we have competing in our sport it's next to none. I love it. It makes me happy. It's a sport I would put my kids in simply because the people around are good people. They really are. We have some good people, and that's why it makes me that much more mad that the promoters take advantage of both the fans and the riders. People ask me, why do MMA fighters psych up and the press conferences are so much better and they create these controversies? It's because they only have to see each other once, twice a year. They don't have to face each other week in and week out. If we were to have that kind of controversy or that kind of trash talk, it would wear thin with these guys. We have a ton of rounds of Supercross, outdoors, super motocross. They're in close quarters, and it's not a sport where you actually physically assault someone else like MMA. So that's why you can't have necessarily the same stuff. But I love guys like Cooper Webb who are coming out of their shell.
Yeah, man, arm's about as hard as morning wood right now.
And they're really giving you personality, talking about, his morning wood, his arm pump. That's the kind of things. I don't want to see guys be not who they are, just be who they are. On the other side, MMA kind of goes over the top. Sometimes they get a little fake in WWE just trying to promote it. So I think there's a nice happy medium. My thing for Supercross guys, don't have to cause controversy. You don't have to freak out, but just be who you are. If you're quiet, stay quiet. If you're kind of mouthy like Cooper Webb, be kind of mouthy. That's all I want from my guys. Thanks a ton, guys. I appreciate everything. Both channels are crushing it. I'm loving this YouTube thing. And also, don't forget, my real job is I'm a real estate agent. So if you need a house anywhere in the world, I'm with Berkshire Hathaway. We can set you up with an agent in your area that specializes in your market. And if you're in the Las Vegas market, I specialize in it. So hit me up. Thanks, guys, and I'll catch you later.